Okay, so here's just going to be a quick rundown of day after the week 4 matchup went down. Gosh. Um, so yeah, here is the matchup. Couple notable things. Blitz score, fucking incredible here. It walls a lot of things. It's super good into Ogre Pawn. It's super good. It absolutely owns Sneeze crazy style. Um, really good into Crook. It's really good into pretty much everything here. With Facade, it can hit stuff like Rotom, Element. Well, it also doesn't really want to be throwing around Intimidates. Annihilate also looks good here. Again, super good into Slither in particular. Um, good into that Intimidate Crook. Good into fantastic into Terapagos. Have Shadow Ball that hit me super effectively. It has to hit with like whack ass shit, like Toxic. Um, there's pretty specific stuff it has to do. Toxic is the obvious one, right? So, Chesto, Resto actually look really good here. And just full speed F just to be able to take on Terapagos and just bunch up its hits. I don't really need a lot of Fizz Def after I get one bulk up. Things like Sneasler, it's free setup on Sneasler. I mean, Sneasler just looks really bad here. Is like the third point. It does nothing into Gliscor. It's set up fodder for Annihilate. The only real thing it does if it comes, it's to bait Gliscor in and cricket a fucking Pecha Berry. That is literally the only fucking thing it does. Or it sets up T-Spikes. So again, a lot of my mons don't care about T-Spikes. Like these guys are immune, or like this guy rests it off. This guy is just getting sent out first because it looks really good here. Pretty much everything not named like, actually yeah, even named like Blurk. Dio kind of cares about him. Oh, there's that. Iron Crown also. But I really debated what the item on this should be. It's just D-tiered for +1 Ments. I might have wasted an AV, EV, or whatever. Yeah, it's timid to outspeed +1 Ments. So, connect that with an Ice Beam. Yeah, and then it's like, I don't know, this is just plot. It could have been plot, it could have been speed, it could have been wave, bucket. Like, I don't know. There's also consideration for Scarf, so I'm faster than +2, which, as you will see, actually might have come up if the end game had gone a little differently. Already talked about why Rest is good, because very likely he's going to be eating like Toxic, uh, or it's going to be eating Dire Claws, at which point I can either rest it off, like the para, or just use Desto Berry right then and there if it lands asleep on me. Is def on this guy super good, a lot of setup opportunity, and with just the basic ass god. Last move could have been something else over protect, like Ice Fang. It could have been like a hazard. It could have been knockoff. Could have but Sludge actually would have. I mean, it doesn't really matter all too much. EQ Facade, that's these good, super good offensively. It gets a million chances to come in and just click moves. Although ironically enough, it doesn't really do that in the game because it ends too fast. This guy is kind of just a dedicated lead here. Obviously, yes, Terapagos, so like setting up hazards is insanely broken, but Spikes hits a lot of important stuff that Empoleon. He has a lot of rock resists, Sneasler and Crook and Empoleon and Golurk. So just having Spikes here is also very nice, especially into things like Ogre Pawn. Having Spikes is always super. So, ideally, I just like hit something and then get up one spike, and then that's that. It's still pretty good. You're gonna see turn one, it actually gets the Terra out, which is already pretty solid, but then it actually it dodges an overheat, so I get a spike up, and then also live, even though I'm burned, and just gets a lot of value for free. This guy is, what is this guy EV? Just Crook. But also many Salamences aren't going to be max Jolly. So there's that. Um, theory it would outspeed a lot of +1 so that's going to be pretty nice for me. And also just pressing Terabug with um, with tinted lens is just fantastic here. Pro tip for these guys, like if you're not running on mons like these, you always want to make sure. Well, you usually want to make sure you have odd HP in most cases, but especially on these guys. So when they come in, they take 49% rocks and not 50, and then you can get 3 switch it. I'm pretty much always just clicking Bug Buzz here, but I mean U-turn, like Air Slash is there for second stab, and it's like okay, like I really don't need any other slots. Slap U-turn on there, slap Shadow Ball on there because Golurk actually still resists. It did Lead's Bug Buzz. It's like okay, I should probably pack something to beat Golurk natural typing, I guess. Even though it's Shadow Ball is like the worst lock-in of all time here, but it's all good. But yeah, that's pretty nice. In this slot, there's contested between like Blastoise and this guy because Blastoise is pretty solid here. It threatens a lot, like Ice Beam Water coverage, but there are a couple things where it's like unless I'm super offensive, and it could potentially be like setup fodder for like a Terapagos, which could get kind of scary. Ogerpon obviously isn't going to be the greatest matchup of all time, especially because my Ice Beams aren't going to be doing too much. Empoleon, I have to like EQ or Aura Spirit, and still not doing that much, unless I'm like Shell Smashing. But then it's like, okay, what are you Shell Smashing on? Actually, not that much. Actually, not that much at all, now that you mention it. So it's like, yeah. In the end, there's obviously some obstacles for Iron Crown as well, right? Like, it does lose to like a lot. A lot of things pack EQ. Rotom is obviously not great for it. And Empoleon's going to resist both its stabs, but just being able to like press Volt Switch on Empoleon with a Spike Up for one of these guys that's not into Crocodile. Because I thought I could deal with Crocodile if he got the switch in. Like, okay, that's probably a sacrifice I'm willing to make if fighting him in. Pressing Tachyon is still really good here. Into stuff like Crocodile, so like there's a real chance he doesn't just hard swap in. And I'm just willing to press Volt Switch a bunch of times on Empoleon if that's what it takes to get good damage on him. And you know, that's that, and then I can go into stuff like super scary stuff like Annihilate. So it still looked pretty solid here. There's that or like an end game booster speed cleanup set, but I just went with this like pivot resist berry set. It actually does come up, which is funny. Again, EV for that Crook speed here. So yeah, this is just max to beat Tide Ogerpon. I don't know. Usually, sometimes I'll like intentionally like underspeed to like always know that I'm not speed tying. Also, sometimes, like most of the time, if I'm just Ogerpon v Ogerpon, I'll just run max speed. And I'll just say like, okay, I'll give myself at least 50% chance to have this somewhat crucial matchup. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other EV thing here. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, game plan is send out the guy, get that motherfucking thing up, and just try and leverage your scary guys. Yeah. So you get into here. Here comes the guy. We force out Terra turn 1, get some fat damage. This is already pretty nice for me, because I'm going to be able to get a Spike Up, and then he plots up. I'm going to get more damage on this, and just make sure I'm able to revenge it with like something else. But then this guy smurfs, dodges the overheat, and then crits with Cudgel. What a balance move. So I managed to survive at 77%. Here I go to Crown, which could be a mistake. I think, realistically, like, Gliscor is decent, but I'm super afraid of knockoff, always. Because, like, obviously, good. And he hits me with Tantrum. Goodbye. That thing up like a beast. This thing just CCs me. And I take it as a chance to, first of all, scout if this thing's gonna switcheroo me, because remember that's what I said earlier, that's pretty much the only thing it does. And it's just a good chance to get my Toxic Orb up so I can switch it into future things, and yeah, it does. it does have fetch. Spoiler alert. But yeah. And he goes into this passive guy and just gets rocks up. And then the burn timing is actually pretty nice on me here, because it means I can just die automatically. So yeah, I get max layers up. I mean, not that good here, right? But good for like sneeze. Oh, also fun fact, Tinted Lens makes Tinted Lens just hits through Terrapogo's Terragel. Another funny interaction. Because it doesn't matter if it's the Stitch or not. And this guy's stupid. Dude, he takes my chest though. Kind of messed up. No? You say? All good. But yeah, and then it's just like this matchup. Like, why on earth would I ever switch out? And it's because he makes me. That's the answer. But then it's like, okay, go for the Ice Beam. Probably has it. He does. You know, the Terra Shell is gone. I can just press Brain again. Although, there's an argument to be made for just pressing Bulk up there, and then I can stay in Rage Fist, and I can keep him the one hit. Because as you're gonna see here, it gets kind of scary when I come in. He clicks D-Dance and he's Yachi Berry, so he lives. But then he doesn't dance again, so I can just come in and revenge it with Eon Mega, since again it's faster than Mega Bug Mode. Dude, I wish I didn't have fucking. I forgot to put Bug Mode on this guy, but I wish I didn't have fucking on, so I could just have mono bugs sometimes, like an actual Terra type. Eats Chople Berry on speed. Also, look at this. Look at this damage, bro. This guy does not mess around. Specs or anything. This guy's a beast. Eat up, King. I just clicked. Alright. Oh, that was that. Fairly simple game plan. Island went stupid. Wonder. I probably don't live a +2 or beat. Let me check though, because I'm curious. +3. Okay. Never mind. I actually for sure live. Okay. So that actually wasn't that scary. Which is like Outrage. Outrage probably kill. Okay, has a 50% chance to kill, but rocks are up. So higher than that. So I mean, if he's Outrage, he can win. Which I mean is definitely possible. Eddie 5 back. If he's Roost, carry him. Yeah, it just depends on what his set is. Oh, Gliscor's a beast though. Yeah, if he like starts roosting up, I guess I could SD on one of his roosts. I don't know. We'll never know. World may never know. It's like, what? Dual Wing Beat. And he's probably like EQ to hit ground. And yeah, he might be Roost. I don't know. EQ, EQ D-Dent, EQ wouldn't be kind of the whole family. That or he's like Ice Moon, I guess is also possible. I think it's Ice Fang, I think. Whatever. Or he could be Outrage. That's my guess. He's EQ, then his last slot is Roost or Outrage or Ice Fang. But yeah, we'll never know. Anyways, that's all. Goodbye.